We had a lot of our employees now starting to grow our team.
We believe in if you want to go far, go together. Our goal is that marketing is the last thing that holds you back from winning your next listing. Paul and I actually, he's one of the first agency owners I've ever talked to, like back 4 years ago. Yeah, we were both just getting started. We had our first little growth spurt. And I was just starting to network and sell for Tonimo, and my buddy Anthony at Outsource Plug introduced me to Paul, and he was like, "You got to meet this kid. He's like a younger, hungrier version of you." I'm like, "Oh shit, hungrier than me? Like I got to meet him." And so Paul and I talked, and we hit it off, and now we're here. And Paul's one of the first coaches at Acre Partner. He actually had his own consulting company, but we believe in if you want to go far, go together. We were already doing well, but I actually overheard someone saying yesterday, why should I give someone else a piece of it if I could just do it on my own? I believe, the only reason to give up a piece of anything is if it's a win-win. When you and someone else together equals 3 or 5. 1 + 1 = 5 is what I believe if you truly find a great partnership. So without further ado, this is my 1 + 1 = 5.
I need this. Well, good morning, everybody. Are we feeling relatively rested and okay?
How about you?
Tired. I'm doing that thing where you kind of lean on objects a little bit today to sort of ease into it. So if you catch me doing that, I apologize. Obviously, really happy to be here. Thank you, Brendan. Just to expand, Brendan took an interest in Fly Listed very early on when it was just Evan and myself. So this is actually my better half. If you guys haven't met, Evan is like the brain of Fly Listed. So everything and all the intentions are all sort of set out by him, and I just go out and sell it to people. That's sort of what I say I do now. But talk to you guys just a little bit about us. So this is Evan and I. Like that picture? Evan and I were roommates in college. And this is our stoop. We would drink on our stoop in college. Evan was like the random, we can't find a fourth person to live with. My friend Sam's like, I know this guy. Evan didn't want to live with me because he thought I was the party animal. But he was the one who would finish the Hornitos every week. So it was really but we bonded well together. We had a small little operation that we were hustling, a little business in college, which really gave us our clarity of how we would potentially work together in the future, which didn't come until way later on, but I felt like I'd give us a little shout out. Okay, so here's my journey here, just to show you guys a little bit about us. And now I've tried my best to document our journey because I think it's important. I think storytelling is obviously a big part of the journey of business. I think it's really important. The first little desk you see here is the me trying to convince my ex-girlfriend's parents that I'm doing work in the basement. And I set up a little desk in a corner. You can see my laptop's propped up on a little book. That was year 1. This is year 2 moving in as I got an apartment in the downtown, more happening area of where I lived in New Hampshire. There's me asleep and dead on the floor, and there's Evan trying to rotoscope shit for a client who had really high needs, and it was just a pain in the ass. Going into COVID, I basically was leaving Mexico on the 15th of 2020 in December. On the 17th, they closed the border. But in that process, I was doing all my paperwork for my lease and trying to prove that I made enough income to justify this next apartment, which you can see. That's Evan and my desk. We had a lot of our employees now starting to grow our team, coming to my house, which after my girlfriend was getting out of the shower and employees were walking through the door, we had a talk, and she's like, you're done doing this shit. Stop having people knock on the door and come here for work. We got an office in the peak of COVID. It looked like a dilapidated shithole, as you can see. If you looked closely at this photo, we all have our COVID masks on. This is Evan and our director of customer success, Brianna, in the corner, which led us to this beautiful office space where you can see down in the right-hand corner. And as of just relatively recently, we actually decided to go full remote with our agency because this was no longer a few steps away from where we were living here. But that journey has been just incredible because just watching that progression of from this to this has just felt so special. And a big reason why I've now moved and relocated down to Florida to do it all over again, because I love this process. We're gonna talk about the customer experience here, guys. I think a lot of you probably haven't invited in this opportunity into your business as often as I think you should. And regardless about the size of your business, all of you guys could take something away from this and see direct revenue come into your business. So I say a good customer experience will result in the customer telling 5 people about it. A bad customer experience will go and lead a customer telling 10 people about it. So how many of you like agree with that and sort of like resonate and feel that of like, if you created a good win for somebody, they're stoked and happy, they'll tell a few people. But if it was shit, anytime your business name comes up, I'm sure people are gonna say, oh no, don't use them. So what's that? Yeah, exactly. It compounds. It's not good. It's like a virus, unfortunately. Just to tell you guys a little bit more about who we are. This is me, obviously, and my team. This is some of our team. I actually had to crop in some people down the bottom there because most of these people are VAs, and then we've had some new hires, obviously, since the group photo was taken. I'm a big proponent of VAs. We just hired our blank face down in the corner here in an effort to bring video editing all in-house now, which I'm very excited about. But I've loved being able to grow a great team. I think like if you want to go far, you want to get people who are smarter than you, better than you, and also people that can hold you accountable. And that's what we set out to do. We've had an amazing team. We've had a lot of our employees have been with us since the very beginning, since a lot of those phases of even just getting into an office, getting out of the apartment. So they're also now bought in. And I think getting buy-in from your team of like your vision is always going to be really important. And of course, my dog, who's my child, down in the corner there. So, yeah, exactly. I've had to FaceTime my dog like 4 times on this trip. All right. Let's dive in here, guys. So 3 problems about the customer journey is, you guys, how many of you guys have automated booking, some sort of booking flow where your customers, Shadi, you don't have automated booking? See, he's not even paying attention. I'm just kidding. So a lot of you guys, probably all at this point, have automated booking. If you don't, John Zhao's right there.
We don't.
You don't? Interesting.
Talk to me or her to book.
What's that?
You have to talk to one of us to book.
I love that. This might flip a switch for you. Automated booking does not mean do nothing, right? So a lot of you guys are getting those appointments, your calendar's stacking up, and you're like, oh, sick, I got like 5 or 6 grand worth of work this week. Nothing's happening in between that. You're going and your first interaction potentially with that client is in the driveway of that house. Sometimes maybe even not. Sometimes it's under lockbox and you're not even seeing them. Problem number 2 is you're not inviting in the opportunity to fix problems after you get your money. I guarantee you if you go and you buy, let's just say a BMW, the sales rep's calling you a week later. How's everything? You liking it? Any problems? You want to bring it in? I can explain something better for you. Because they're trying to make you potentially an ambassador down the line. They want you to tell your friends about how amazing your experience was. Maybe if you buy a Toyota or a Honda, no offense to Toyota or Honda, I love them. Maybe they don't call you, right? So figuring out what type of experience. Now you don't have to be like offering this over the top BMW experience in your business just to do that. Even if you are the Toyota and Honda and you're offering that, it's gonna speak volumes for you. So the last one is that systems aren't in place, right? Of like, there's no sort of way to keep yourself accountable to know, oh, this client has had 10 potential issues with us and now they just rebooked. So let's just meet before we get on this shoot with them so we can make sure that like things are gonna be good and straightforward because they're potentially giving us another chance. So the booking system, if you guys are using automated booking, it triggers you to really start to get to work. And that process is to get on a consultative call with that client almost immediately. You're welcome to take pictures of this and I'll sort of walk you guys through what all this means. What we typically do if it's a new client and we have none of our people on the sales team have engaged or talked to them before, is we're researching the agent, getting as much information about them. Where do they list houses? What neighborhoods are they affluent in? Let's check out their Instagram, see what they're all about. Let's try to see if they have anything about them, because this is really gonna help us offer the best sort of solution for our client as well. So you're definitely gonna pick up the phone and just jump on a call with them. As soon as that automated booking comes in, or at least block off some time to do your confirmations, it's typically the first thing our team does in the morning is if we got overnight orders, we're picking up the phone in the morning, calling and confirming and making sure everything's good. Next is to welcome them to your business. So if you guys haven't given yourselves or taken the time to make like a 2-minute or even a 30-second like elevator pitch of who you are, then like put that in your notes and get to work on it, because you want to be able to articulate your story, but also not waste their time super fast. Hey, this is what we do. Boom, boom, and boom. Here's why we do it. Here's some of the, some of the areas that we service, some of the areas that we're more popular in. I always try to talk about the fact that we have a good big team. None of our work's contracted. Everyone's in-house, so it's not like you're going to see the guy that they fired come and contracted out through us.
Real quick, just by a raise of hands, if I were to ask you, hey, tell me what you do in 1 minute, and I'm an agent, who feels confident that they got it down? That's definitely something to work on, because I can tell you when I first started, when I was making cold calls, when I was getting introductions from agents to agents, like I would either have to text them, shoot them a voice memo, and I had 1 minute to really like get myself out there. Between that and sending 1 or 2 samples, like your first impression really matters. So let's host a workshop on creating a pitch.
Absolutely. Well, right now, like if I were to ask any of you guys, like if I were to bump into you in the streets, how do you articulate what you do to maybe somebody who knows nothing about it? Obviously, assuming your clients are more educated, they know a little bit, they know what your purpose is. Now, a lot of us are photographers. I've often called myself a photographer too, but really, like, I mean, we're anything but that at the end of the day, right? We're problem solvers, we're videographers, we're furniture movers, we're stagers, we're, chief everything officers, as we like to call it. Does anybody have their pitch like nailed, or is that something that you're like, shit, I'm gonna do that? Show of hands, how many people have it nailed? I would have expected you to have it nailed, shit. Nobody yet, okay.
Can we hear pilots? Let's hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we say we're a full top to bottom agency with locations all throughout New England and South Florida, obviously depending on who we're talking to. We have a team of over 20 people. None of our work is contracted, because that's big for us. That was just like a big important thing, is a lot of people would be like, do you guys contract out? Because what could happen, potentially in our market, maybe other people's too, is the last thing they want to see is the guy who you just fired come and work for you for a 30% cut. It's like, okay, that's not good. So we make sure to say that. We lead with that. The team approach is really important. So we're a good sized team. We have people responsible that'll relay race your project all the way through completion. If there's anything you need throughout the process, like here's how to get in touch with us, right? Super high level, right? Because I have a good website. Like they can at some level educate themselves, but at the same time, I want to fill in the gaps that my website isn't just like throwing out in their face.
Yeah, I got a pitch.
Let's hear it.
Well, I'm rusty because I don't talk to agents. I talk to real estate media companies now. So I'm going to read it because I wrote it down. Yeah. As an agent, we understand you must value your time and your brand. Acre offers a turnkey solution to put your listings on the market for top dollar. We get you more exposure, and ultimately, we build your brand. We do this by producing for you next day turnaround on photos, videos, reel, drone, 3D, websites, and so much more. Through Acre, you always have a dedicated in-house team of photographers, project managers, editors that are accessible to you on demand whenever you need. Just call us, text us. Our goal is that marketing is the last thing that holds you back from winning your next listing.
Good job. And if that becomes conversation,
You can just steal it. Like Acre licenses that. Now you can have it.
yeah.
Just want to mention, this is a good nugget from you that, really the core component of that pitch is what you do, how you do it, and why.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that why is also an important piece,
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last component to always include is like your turnaround time. Get those expectations out. You're gonna get your photos in 24 hours, videos will be 48. Like let them know. Setting those expectations early on is like, where's my shit? Like that's probably the last thing we want to hear from our clients. So, but I appreciate that. And just to highlight on what Brendan said too is like, just get that down, right? Like be able to articulate that. You bump into somebody like at the bar, you have pitch number 1, somebody's on the phone, pitch number 2, who's already ready to go. It's like, hey, like what the fuck do you do? You know what I mean? Like have that ready to go.
And like one thing Brendan said there, that more exposure, more this, he led with the actual value out of the outcome of the product, as well as ending it with marketing the last thing you have to worry about.
Yeah.
So addressing a pain point in there. So it's not just we do photos, videos, 3D tours for homes, put on property pages, look good. It's that further extension of what it actually does for their business.
Right. Yeah. If there's like a marketing differentiator for your business, absolutely. Like that's huge. Because if you're just like, I do photo, video, Matterport floor plan, drone, sick. So does everyone else. Like, find a way to make that, like, make it a win. You know, for us, we handle your distribution. We'll push it out into socials for you. You know what I mean? Like, if they're obviously, oh, tell me more about that. So it sort of can segue into like other sort of conversations that we feel like are pretty important. Deep dive into the listing and the project. So this is when you're on the phone with somebody. Your automated booking has come in, right? You're jumping on the phone. You know everything. You pulled up the listing on Zillow. You have sort of now a strategy to make the right recommendations. Hey, Chris, I saw you only got photos. This looks like a great place. Do you want to throw in like a social media video? Get more eyes on it? Because what ends up happening, even with like the standard MLS offering, is once you extinguish that out into the world, where's your content? What else are you going to do? That listing's on the market. Come 2 months from now, when are you just going to repurpose the images, right? So get them excited and to sort of hear that, right? Like, always give that why. Like, hey, here's why I think we should do this. We call it soft selling in our business, and I definitely think it's a better approach. We're never trying to really ram anything down our throat, and our close rate is so much higher for upselling a call when we're just like, I think it'd be a good idea if we got the drone up. Like, what do you think, right? Something to just get them like, oh yeah, totally. I see, it's got a lot of land. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. If you guys
No.
haven't seen a recent workshop that Paul did on this was semi-recent, right, where he just kind of did the project upgrade calls. And
Oh, yeah.
It was a good reminder for everybody that was there and then watched that recap. I think he did like 4 in a row, and I'm pretty sure at least 3 out of the 4. They were very conversational, just approaching it just the way you described. And people were pretty quickly, within a few minutes, just all in on, oh yeah, let's do that.
I think it was like $700-800 just in just a couple,
In the span of that half an hour, yeah.
Yeah.
So super solid, those consultations are super crucial.
And very important. Absolutely. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, and I'm trying to make this a conversational. So if questions come up, like, you guys don't have to wait till the end here. I want to make this easy for you. So obviously, recommendations. If a new service is available, we do talk to them about it. Social media management has been our bigger push right now. So that's just a part of that consultative call, at least dropping a seed. We're not even trying to really sell it on that call, because our salespeople need to sell that, not the customer success directors who are making these calls. You're looking for a targeted talk time of 10 minutes, and this is pretty important, right? That sort of gives us, especially as like their leaders, because we track all these call outcomes of like, you did your job, you were tried and true and ran them through this process, right? We know that it should take you about 10 minutes. And if it's 2 minutes, we're like, what happened, right? We know the outcome if it's a 2-minute call. And really, like, no exceptions to like not doing this. Like, there shouldn't be any reason why you should not do this. Even if it's like your best customer, just be like, hey, just wanted to check up, see how you're doing. I saw you book this. Super pumped about it, right? Just jump on the phone, right? Even if you're not upgrading them, this is about the customer experience. This isn't about like just revenue. All right. So really the process starts before cameras get turned on, right? So our process of like creating a good customer experience is like lead with polite CSs who are our creatives, who are invested in your vision, right? So like a lot of our CSs like really love and respect us. They love that they can show up and like make content and be out in the field with a camera. So they're really pumped about it. Like, those are the people we try to hire, not somebody who's just trying to make a quick buck. Like, people who love seeing sick houses or really shooting any houses. And our CSs, like, we have so much great feedback of like, oh, Richard was amazing. Like, he made my clients feel really special. Your experience isn't just for your client, it's also for your client's client. Like, your client's client is very vulnerable during the process of their house getting shot. Like, we're intimate with these people. We're in their freaking bathrooms, right? So it's like, if the client's clients are there, which in some cases, right, especially in New England where, people are home and stuff during this time of year because it's cold, we want to make them also feel good, because that's an extension of us, right? We want to make sure that we acknowledge them, we're polite, respectful, and we really push that really hard with our CSs. We've had almost no negative feedback, with like one slight exception that I won't get into. But you guys do this hundreds of times a year. Your clients' clients don't, right? A dude walking around their house with a camera, it's very sort of invasive. So you have to like put yourself in their perspective. It's just another day for you guys, but for them, it's like all the shit they had to deal with before you've even shown up, all this paperwork, this, that, they're pretty stressed out. So if you can make that experience good for the client's client, it's going to speak volumes about like you guys and your team too. And obviously, like, don't be shy, right? We always want to make sure the people that we're sending out, and including you guys, like, be conversational. Like, don't just set your tripod down immediately. Like, we give them about 5 to 10 minutes to just be like, hey, like, go walk around with the agent, do a walkthrough, talk about them, talk about like how things have been going. And really, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, one of the things that we found really successful for experience on is complimenting, like, especially when the client's there, complimenting, like, if they did a renovation or something.
Absolutely.
So I really love how you did it, and just go, wow, thanks, like, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to create like a good experience for like them as well too, of like knowing, because you never know, like some of those people who own these houses could be your clients too, you know what I mean? And that's happened before. We've had a lot of business and just good recommendations and referrals come, because you got to think they're also spreading our name. Our guys are typically wearing some branding, so they know exactly who we are when we're shooting their listing. So it starts very early on. Again, this like positive and upbeat experience starts before cameras get turned on, right? Of like showing up, right? Not doing all of this in what I talked about before, just when you show up in the driveway of the house.
So important. Between the call and this, the prep that goes into the shoot, like that's, you can keep a client for life that way.
I'm telling you, yeah. And like fly listed, like in our region, we're expensive, right? People don't even really balk or ask. There's no like, they know what they can expect when they come to work with us. And that's like the business that we've built. Did you have a question?
No, just more input on that. I mean, I think they are the face of the business. Oftentimes they're the only ones that the agent is going to see, that the homeowner is going to actually physically see and interact with. So those small things are crucial, especially if your price points are a little bit higher. If they can actually feel that they're getting that white glove premium service, and that you're invested in making sure that the people that show up are on brand, on message, like, consistent with everything, that it reinforces that buying decision in a major way. And it's just some of those small things that are really important for people to continue to purchase with them. So.
And along those lines, I wanted to say this yesterday, but this is something that I saw in my business was when you have creatives that go out there and represent your company, if you have the ability to go to those shoots and while they're working, you're talking to the agent, you're showing them, they're able to hear what you're saying. They're able to hear how you're saying it. They're able to hear how you're handling those objections. They're able to hear how you're presenting the company, which means that eventually, when they're completely on their own and they face those same scenarios, they're mirroring what you said.
Yeah.
Because when you have new creatives that come out and they get these questions, they don't know the answers, that's that representation for that agent. So if you're able to be the leader that can go out and just chit chat, A, you build rapport, but 2, you teach the people out there how you want the company to be presented.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, any service-based like person who has to come in your house, when Comcast comes, you're like, oh, you know what to expect or whatever. With like random Joe Schmo plumber, you're like, shit, I can't go to the gym. I don't trust this guy in my house by myself. Like being in someone's house is very, very like, they're very vulnerable. It's very like personal. And you want them to be like, yeah, we trust them. I mean, at the point we're at, like clients just say, doors unlocked up to a $20 million house and they're not worried about it. So you want to get there. And really like at this point, I have so many clients who have never met me, don't even know about me, don't know I exist, don't know I own the company. And that's like the point you want to get to, right? Is like, I don't want that experience just with the owner. I want to be able to know that as you guys scale and grow, you can step away, right? And people start to build friendships and relationships with your client or your photographers and stuff too. So we are a customer service based business, right? I mean, a lot of us are like, we're photographers, we do this, we do that. We're customer service. That is like literally what we do. And if you think about your business in that light, you'll go obviously very far, right? Of just knowing that like the whole experience starts right before the appointment gets booked with your clients. Here's just some faces and cool stuff. Good job on this edit. Pretty cool. Oh, really? Love it. Okay, so you guys can take a picture of this if you want to, but this is like if I were to go home and figure out how I'm gonna like articulate this either back to my team or and I can obviously circulate this presentation after this too. This is sort of the framework of what it's all about, right? And until all of these steps and questions are, drop it in the group chat, like sort of figured out, you really haven't done your job. So the 4 main hubs of this is first impressions, on-site, delivery, and then after the fact, okay? So we'll dive into each and every single one of these, but I wanted you guys to have this just sort of laid out. All right, so first impressions, right? So the e-commerce experience was simple. Thank you, John Zhao, for making Tonimo good. If they struggled and had a shit experience, or you hacked together some like booking flow, and it was just not straightforward, they didn't get their questions answered, they didn't feel like confident making a purchase, I mean, you don't want them to ultimately abandon the cart, right? You don't want them to be like, this sucks. And unfortunately, when we were customer 2, we were getting that feedback. But John Zhao has made Tonimo fucking sick, so I appreciate that. But that's a huge part of it. You want to make the process straightforward from the very beginning. Like, I want to make me transacting money from you like the simplest thing you can do, not like you have to jump through hoops. So if you're going through your booking system, or you do an audit on your guys' like booking system, and it's not straightforward, and it's not easy, and it's not thorough, and I can't get my questions answered, my experience is already starting to go downhill. Help with making them make the right choice. Now, a lot of agents, like I would say most agents are pretty bad at marketing themselves. They really don't know. They sort of throw like stuff on the wall to make sure like, this might work, or maybe I'll walk through the house. I think everyone just sees a little something and tries it. But at the end of the day, like you guys are responsible for helping them like make the right choice, inspiring them to be like, hey, I see this is like something that's really happening right now. Like, let's try this. Let's do some cool shots here. About you, this is what we call our welcome call. So during that process I showed you guys is like warming up and getting your pitch ready, and articulating your pitch, talking to them about you, your process, how you're gonna actually help and benefit their business. And then game plan for the shoot, right? So if there's some important notes of like, hey, you're gonna have to meet a guy under the bridge named Hank, and he's gonna give you the lockbox code, you're gonna take, you know what I mean? You need to sort of make sure that there's not gonna be issues getting to the house. You're able to pull it up on the maps, Google, like there's not gonna be issues with your creative calling the realtor. Where is this place? I can't find it. So coming up with that game plan is super important. Again, if you want a picture, by all means take it. If not, you got it on the other one. On-site, so the cadence of your staff, whether it's you guys or your creatives who are out there, you want to make sure that they're people. You want to make sure that the agent didn't feel uncomfortable or weird around them, and making sure that they can ultimately mimic like what you guys would ultimately do for your clients. Morale, agents are super just all over the place, stressed out. If you can take that and understand it and make that agent's experience a lot better, where they're like trying to move a bunch of shit and you're like, you know, like let me help you out, or I got this, right? Whatever you can do to sort of help make the agent feel better about the experience. You want to make like photography not be like going to the dentist and a pain in the ass. You want to be like, this is really easy and straightforward. Again, the underlying message here is that you can keep your price points or increase them, whatever you guys want to do. But you can typically be the higher priced vendor in the area when you guys are applying these fundamentals. And I hear so many people, guy down the street's charging $150. He's pricing me out of my market. Okay, great. So you know how many people charge $150 in our market? A lot, or whatever. Unlimited, this, that, like we don't give a shit. I don't think we've ever spent any time on our competitor's website. I never even did any market research before starting FlyListed, because this stuff I think supersedes any sort of difference of $50 to $100 or whatever it might be. Maybe it might even be $1,000 difference. It does not matter at the end of the day. Work ethic. You want to make sure your guys are in there grinding, right? Like doing a good job. Want to make sure that like they're getting it done. They don't, feedback from the agent is like, hey, your guy was in the house all day. Again, contributing to a bad customer experience just out of the gate. If it's going to be a big place, like do your diligence. If you guys need help, like call for that help. Or set the expectation during the call. Hey, I have one guy available today or next week or whatever. Like it's gonna be a bit. I just wanna make sure you know that. Now that you've told them, they're not like, why was he there until sundown? And then ultimately the on-site experience, right? Of making sure that everything was straightforward. You didn't like crash into the house and break windows and shit. So this all, yeah.
And also let every single person know that at any point in time, there could be a camera anywhere.
Exactly, yeah.
Like in San Diego, we have a lot of luxury homes, but like, agents who got encouraged, and brokers got encouraged to put in like little hidden cameras and stuff like that for safety, protection, security, and stuff like that. So even if the homeowner's not there, even if the agent's not there, even if there are no physical cameras, act like you're on camera all the time.
Oh, I mean, everyone has, like, it's fucking like $20 to buy a Ring camera now. Everyone has one all the time. They're listening, they're looking, like whatever. just like don't do shit you wouldn't do, right? See a nice Rolex, like don't go try it on in the closet.
Don't sit on the couch with your feet up. Don't faint in big large areas. Like,
Yes, exactly.
All the snacks that are for the buyers.
Yeah. Don't take a shit and the water doesn't work. Yeah, I'll fly through. Delivery. So your turnaround time was met. Obviously, like making sure that's huge.
hey guys,
Turnaround time being met is going to be really important, right? That's again, if you're late, if you're 48 hours on your photos and you say 24, yeah, you can expect that you didn't meet your end of the bargain. Ease of access. Another shout out to John Zhao. We want to make sure it's easy for you to like get your files. I can't download them. Can you do this? Can you do that? Whatever it is, like if you guys are like, oh, I can save $2 a month by going to this instead of Dropbox, like just make it easy for your clients to get what it is they need from you. Quality of the work, that goes without saying. I think we all sort of prioritize that, but it has to ultimately be good. If it's not, like you're gonna hear about it, so make sure. We always typically see what a client's been putting out, so we can see, oh yeah, we'll smoke this and make sure it's really good. And then lastly, like distribution, like their game plan for it, their ease of like, hey, I couldn't get this to go on Instagram Reels, like what the fuck? So very important. I'm sort of gonna move a little quicker here for you. After the fact, so this is when they have everything. Positive feedback, issues have been mitigated, references and referral and review. Now I have a script for you guys so you can all sort of put this into motion because this one is so important. I mean, how many of you are calling your clients after you've delivered everything?
I started doing that recently, and then I realized one of my clients stopped using us, and then she didn't tell us why. I gave her a call, I'm like, hey, just want to follow up on the last shoot. And she's saying, oh, I wasn't just happy with one little color correction. So when someone's off that one photo, I'm like, hey, and I didn't realize I'm going to call her right after she was called months later. And I was like, hey, but then I realized if I called her right away, but fix that right away, and pick up the client, and she stopped $1,200 every shoot every time. And so we got her back afterwards, but then I'm like, hey, any issue, any problem, let us know right away, we'll fix it right away. And so ended up getting that relationship back and getting more money. So it's very important for myself to do that.
I would feel offended if I paid $3,000 for a shoot and you didn't call me 24 hours later to make sure that everything was Gucci. I'd be pretty upset. Like, am I gonna hear from that guy? It's super important. It's slept on. It's we call it the care call, and I'll jump in here. This is even just yesterday, so I wanted to pull up a relevant experience of the handoff here. A client that we're working with, Evan shot the text over. He was working her, and he's like, yeah, okay, I want to get her brought in through the customer journey, so I'm going to start this off. Hey, Bailey, I'm just looping in Paul here. Brought him up to speed with what you're looking for. He can better help answer questions for blah, blah, blah address. We'll show up and make magic happen. Sent her, she responded, thanks for the intro, Evan, Paul, I'm discussing with our group, the founder, Josh, and next moves. Once I get the go ahead, I'll reach out to him to schedule. Nice to meet you. I'll help guide you through your journey for the best way to maximize your time with us on both on site and on your content in hand. Let me know if a call would be helpful sometime before our shoot and I can get to know you. Yes, let's set up a call. Boom, here's my calendar link. Great. So now I can figure out everything that this person wants, needs, her dreams. Let's make sure it's realistic what she wants. Sometimes people want something I can't do, right? Oh, I want to fly an FPV through the penthouse. It's all glass and chandeliers, blah, blah, blah. And this is gonna help me like create a win earlier on. I know everything about her after that call that I need to deliver a really freaking good project and make potentially a client for life. So that handoff is really important, and that just happens. Somehow they got Evan's number, our COO doesn't do any sales. So they wanna ultimately guide them and bring them through the journey of who are the right people to talk to. Now, potentially that might be you, right? You might not have that team and the resources to do that handoff to who's the person to talk to. But when you, regardless of that fact, like you wouldn't, calendar link and like, hey, let's chat. Win every time. Here's just some of our reviews. Like this isn't even a flex at all, but I think reviews are obviously a direct, so what I'm looking for. Reflection, thank you, of your customer experience, yes.
Do you ask agents for reviews?
Oh yeah, every time, bro. Every single time. We incent, yeah.
You can even do a review exchange. Hey, I know reviews are important for both of our businesses. I'm gonna leave you one because it was great to work with. Would you mind doing the same?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we incentivize the person who's making those calls. We want at least 5 a month. And if they hit that, we give them a little bit of money. So it's important. We just got to 105, which seems dismal for how much work we've done, but as long as you're 20, 30, 40 or dominant to your competitor, you're an obvious choice. You have 50 or whatever. Evan's pissed that it's 5 stars. He's like, somebody needs to roast us a little bit, but
I thought about it, but.
I'll fucking fly to wherever you are and I'll beat your ass. 105's good, and I mean it's a lot, but I'm like, we're gonna keep going. The incentives like still remain strong, but this is huge. This is a flex, and this is like your reputation. And you're showing it off to the world. Did you have a question, bro?
Yeah, so on the post delivery, do you trouble asking for a review and a referral at the same time, or do you ask it?
I got a cookie for you at the end. Just you'll take a picture of it. I'll walk you through it. Just systems to make it all happen. So ultimately, like this is kind of what we call our stack. This is what we use. This is sort of our reputation management sort of stack that we use for our business. It's pretty straightforward. I'm pretty sure like most of these are somewhat free, if not stupid cheap. We scaled our business to 750,000 a year on the free version of HubSpot. Now, obviously, over $1 million a year, and we pay for it. But recommend using it in some degree. It's so important. We love it. And I could talk to you guys for days about it, but all of you guys can leave this room and download the Sales Hub or log in or whatever and be a part of that and like start using it and have it be effective day one. So super important. Front, couldn't live without it. I don't know. Has anybody used Front in here? No, you guys don't? Oh my God.
Well, HubSpot has somewhat of a front built in.
No, it's just you just integrate it. It's click a button, turn it on. You never have HubSpot's email's ugly. HubSpot's just for like. And here's the thing with HubSpot. Like if my client had an issue, right? At this point, like we're pretty big, but you're not going to remember exactly what it was. And potentially the next person, maybe that person even gets fired. How are you going to know if somebody had a shit experience and they're now coming back or now they have a second chance, right? When there's problems in our business, HubSpot, we create a ticket and it goes all the way through until it gets solved. That relay race of the ticket gets created, depending on the parameters of that ticket, it goes and dispatches out to who needs to figure it out. Is it an editing request? Boom, editor's getting pinged. Is it a customer experience? Like, hey, my website won't load. Boom, it's going to the people who make the website.
It's impossible to scale a business past $1 million if you don't have a CRM and a team working it.
Yeah, that's
I don't work it, but
facts.
my team, everyone's working. Slack is a team communication platform. HubSpot is a client relationship management platform.
I'll like show you ours a little bit if you have like some time or something after. It's really good. Front is amazing. I think Front is the best. And so we don't use any of the email features that HubSpot has. Front is really good because we can get shit done quick. So Front is team-based email. So you have visibility over your entire basically your entire team's email inboxes. We try to operate out of specific inboxes and it gets obviously channeled respectively to that. But there's so many times where my director of customer success will be dealing with an issue. Instead of having to forward me, screenshot me on Slack and email, they can tag me right in. Now I know Google Gmail has a little bit of this, but Front is the most beautiful and simple email. We tried to sort of get rid of Front when we were going over to HubSpot and our team was like, fuck no, don't do that. And so we kept it and it's amazing. Like the features are unbelievably good and we love it. Repuso is what I just showed you back here. So this is sort of how we display our reviews on our website, but it also helps you review farm really well because after that call, which I'll show you guys in a second, you can just drop a link to your customer's phone, be like, hey, you're gonna get a text. Can you just take a second to write your feedback for us? We don't say, hey, write us a 5-star review. Say, give your feedback. Naturally, there are some parameters you can set up within Repuso so that you can sort of potentially avoid a public 5-star, 1-star review, which we've done. It channels it as internal feedback is basically how that works. And it's a pretty effective tool. It works really well. Our only 1-star review was somebody who didn't get a job here, who said so much for the land of opportunities.
Do you ever deal with issues with someone posting a review on there but it not showing up?
Yes. Yep. And we just say like, super sorry if you don't mind. Like, can you?
Do it again.
Yeah. And if they do, if they don't, we're just like, all right, like we'll just eat that one. Yes.
Are Yelp reviews relevant anymore, or is it all Google?
I just don't like Yelp. Like they're what's the word I'm looking? They're like paid to basically like make. Like I want to be relevant on Google. Yelp they blew up my phone the first 2 years of business trying to get money from me, so I just don't like them. I'm sorry that's not probably the most helpful, but anybody with it?
Nobody uses Yelp. You have to have an account to see the reviews.
Yeah, exactly. It sucks. And last is Thanks. Does anybody know what Thanks is? Oh, you do because of me. Well, kind of. It's a piece of software. You can gift people things without needing their address, and we do it all the time to people. We'll send them a bottle of whiskey. We'll send them with their dog person. It's a really good website. I love it. It costs, the stuff's a little bit, tiny bit marked up, but that's how they make money. It's really convenient because I don't have to be like, hey, what's your address? I want to send you something. It goes to their email and they're, hey, you have a gift from Flylist. They click here, fill it out, and they'll fill out their shipping information. So we have thresholds depending on certain levels of spend, certain referrals, and we'll just like thanks somebody and we'll send people shit. And they're like, dude, what? You sent me Maker's Mark 46. I'm pumped. So it's really cool and it can really make someone's day. If someone like one of our clients lost their mother recently and we just sent them some condolence stuff through Thanks. So it just makes it really easy to not have to deal with I'm not going to the post office to send shit. I don't care how much you spend. It's just, I don't want to do that. So amazing. All of you could take that and benefit from it. Is a great piece of software. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think it's massive for retention, especially, top 5, 10, 15% of your clients. Identify them, put something like that in, and that's going to, even if they have an issue, even if it's a big issue or something that fell through the cracks, they're definitely going to think about the relationship and what you did there. And think twice before moving on, or just exiting the side door without letting you know.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot, as Edward mentioned.
They actually purchase the gift and ship it to them?
We buy it.
And they get an email saying, hey, fill it out, you got a gift.
But you're saying that you don't ship stuff, so.
No, they handle everything. That's
So it
it.
should be paid for.
Think about this, think about you buy something on Amazon, and Amazon sends a client and goes, hey, you have a package, here's your information.
Like 2 minutes. Yeah, it's really good. We love it. So I'll move on here. Here's just some of our calls that we have tracked, but again, HubSpot's doing this. I can go in and listen to any call. I think if you have somebody, not you, making these types of calls, it's important to have some sort of way to go back and reference them. This is all done in HubSpot by our VA, who we love. She's awesome, been with us for a while. And our customers love her, ask for her all the time too. So just to show you sort of what it looks like here, and it'll actually transcribe your calls, which is really cool. So this is sort of the beginning of the script that I'll show you guys. But I'm just calling in to ensure that the files we sent over was received and everything's perfect for you. She's like, this client's really old, so, but you'll see that. I was sent 3 groups of pictures, I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. But you can see she's like going through it, right? And if we hadn't made that call, she would be like, I don't know what's going on here. Some people just don't get technology, and that's why they hire us. She said they looked great, and she was able to problem solve that call, make sure. And she's like, I'm going to call you every time after we have an appointment, and just want to make sure you know that. And she's stoked about it. She's like, great, I really like that. And I'll tell you guys, there's probably not a ton of overlap here in terms of markets. We're all pretty much in different areas. So if you can adopt this, I guarantee your competitors are not. This is going to put you fucking worlds above them, even if you take a little bit of what I've shown you guys. And I really mean that. I really mean that a lot. It just making that experience gives you that differentiator of shit, that was a really good experience working with Paul and his team. Here's the script. So you can take a picture of this. Hey, I just wanted to reach out and make sure everything that we sent over was received and it's all perfect for you. Little investigative emoji. If they're happy, ask for a review and tell them about a referral program. Hey, it's so great to hear that you're happy. I wanted to let you know that we have a referral program. Give 100 to you and your friend coming in to use. They can use it on their first appointment. Is there anybody that you know that might like what we do? Pretty straightforward. Who has a listing? This, that. It's who would like what we do? Oh, I know Chrissy's always doing shit on her Instagram. She should be a good client for you to reach out to. Lastly, obviously, you're gonna want to ask for a review, right? So we'll distribute that Rapuso link right to their phone. They can fill out the review. It takes 2 seconds. If step 1 is that they're having problems, we're not moving into reviews or referrals. You got to solve that problem first. And don't even ask. Solve that problem, call back. Hey, is everything good now? Great. So you're not going to step 2 and 3 if the answer to if question 1 is shit's wrong with my order. Yes.
This is all done through HubSpot?
No, this is picking up the phone. Fucking dialing.
John's out talking about automating this to autonomous AI bot one day.
I like to personalize it like Tony.
Your VA, though, the last slide, your VA reaches
Yes.
What's that software?
What's what?
What software is that done?
Software for reaching out. Oh, this back here was HubSpot. This is HubSpot. Yeah. It records and transcribes. Yeah.
It comes through like a mobile phone text message?
The review link?
The call. Whenever that calls out.
It's our business line. It's our business line. It's integrated within HubSpot. Open phone.
Separate app that integrates with HubSpot, right? It's not native HubSpot.
Open phone or something?
Yeah, open phone and yeah, we can call through either open phone or HubSpot. It doesn't matter. It all syncs and talks to one another. Did everyone get a picture of this?
I sent it to the group.
You sent it to the group? Okay. That's it, guys. I just wanted to come up here. I appreciate it. I left, if you guys need shit, like I literally left my phone number here. I've been doing, obviously I'm a coach on Anchor Partner if you guys need some help with anything. If you're already a student on Anchor Partner, great. Like hit me up, let's chat. I do help with a lot of people's VAs within their business. That's been a big strategy, I believe. And VAs so strongly. We're bringing all video editing in-house. Our customer success team's all VAs and like good, like English speaking, like the language barrier, no issues. So I believe in that so much where I started doing that with my students and other industries. So if that's something you need, you can take a picture of my number here and you can shoot me a text. And if you just want to chat about anything I talked about, I'm happy to sit down with you guys. So thank you. I'm sorry if I went over.
Okay.